welcome back. This video is all about how to make the lockdown easier. Let's face it, the lockdown isn't the most fun thing in the world. There are some positives to be taken from it, from the different people I've spoken to. Everyone's managed to find something that they enjoy about it. But for the large part, it's really difficult. We can't leave our houses to go and spend time with our friends or our cousins or other family members that we're used to seeing, who would usually give us the support and security that we need to feel safe. We're not going to school, and as much as you might feel that school isn't your favourite place in the world, going there every day, having your routine, having your friends, seeing all the different adults, all the relationships you have there, having opportunities to do fun activities, to try out things you wouldn't get to do at home. These are all things that we can't have at the moment, and that's really tricky. We can't go to the park and play on the equipment. Hopefully you're getting outside every day for your daily exercise, because not only is that brilliant for our physical bodies and our physical health, it's so important for our mental health, particularly if you can get out among nature, where you can hear the birds singing and see the trees, feel the breeze on yourself. But all in all, we're spending the largest part of our time stuck in our house with our families, and everybody is feeling quite stressed and a bit worried. That means that there's possibly arguing going on that maybe isn't always at your house, or maybe it's more intense than it usually is. You might find you're bickering a lot with your brothers and sisters because they're just always there, or they're using stuff that you don't want them to use, and you feel like you haven't actually got a lot of space for yourself right now. There's not really anywhere that you can get away to have some time on your own, and just generally you might be missing the life that you're used to having. So it's a tricky time for everyone. Again, people will have different responses. So some people might actually be loving lockdown. Other people might be finding parts that you don't like, the parts that they like, and vice versa. There's no right or wrong. Everyone's just going to have their own different response. But for those of you that are struggling with lockdown, there are a few things that we can do to make it easier. So the first one is about trying to keep a normal routine. It's quite tempting when we don't have to go to school and work to go to bed later, get up later. But what this does is make such a change to our daily life and our daily routine. It can set us completely off balance, and we can end up either having far too much sleep, which weirdly then makes us more sleepy, or you might find that you're going to bed much later, but you're still getting up at the same time, so that you're not getting enough sleep. And as the weeks and days go by, this builds up and builds up, and it does impact not only your physical health, but also your mental health. So one of the first things you can do to begin to make lockdown easier is set yourself a routine. Now, maybe your whole family could sit down and work out a routine, or it might just be something you do for yourself. But work out a time that you're going to get up and stick to that, a time that you'll get dressed and have your teeth brushed, and then a time that you're going to start your schoolwork. And within that routine, in the day, you can set yourself snack times, times to do certain things that you're going to enjoy, to make sure that you have a sense of certainty about what is going to happen today. One of the tricky things about lockdown is the uncertainty. We don't know when it's going to end. We don't know what it will be like actually when this stage of lockdown ends. So that uncertainty and that confusion can create difficulties with our mental health. So if we can keep what we're in control of certain, that's gonna feel good. So work out what time you're going to bed, what time you get up, what time you're getting dressed and ready for the day, and what activities you're going to do throughout the day. That's really going to help. Now, everyone's going to be doing their schoolwork, but have a think about what other things you might like to be doing. Is there anything you'd like to particularly learn? Would you like to learn how to knit or to sew, or work out how engineering works? Are there things that you might be able to set yourself your own little interest project on? Do you really enjoy drawing? Do you enjoy making comics? Do you enjoy playing certain video games? If you can set in your routine where you're going to do those things and on what days, that again is going to give you something to look forward to and a sense not only of certainty and routine, but making sure you are doing things that bring you happiness, that you are doing things that bring you joy. A huge thing is reducing the amount of news that you're watching or having access to. The news at the moment is full of COVID and coronavirus. And the news traditionally reports the bad things that are happening. They're not telling us every day about all the good things, that people in the community are looking out for each other more, that neighbours are helping neighbours by doing shopping and sharing things, that people are baking for each other and dropping around little goodie bags. They don't tell you about all the people that are helping. They're just focusing on the real doom and gloom and fear. So if you find that you're watching the news a lot, or that your mum and dad have the news on a lot and you can see it and you can hear it, go and speak to them and say, can we not watch the news while I'm around? It makes me feel quite panicky and worried. You might also find that the adults around you are talking about their worries and fears a lot. And that's fine, because everybody does have worries and fears. But if you find that their worries are making your worries bigger, again, you can go and talk to them and just really nicely say, when you're talking about how worried you are about COVID, it's making me feel really worried. Can we agree that you talk about it when I've gone to bed, or can you not talk about it around me? Because I'm sure your mum and dad or other adults don't realise how it's impacting you. So that's another thing, either reduce the amount that you're looking at the news or reduce the amount that you're hearing about adults worrying, because you don't need to hear that, okay? Another thing to do is make sure you're getting exercise. When you exercise, your brain releases chemicals called endorphins. Now, endorphins make you feel good. They're one of the ways that make your brain just feel happier. So if you're sitting around all day and you're not moving your body, you're not going to be releasing endorphins. So that's going to bring your mood right down. So if you can get out every day for a bike ride or a walk or even go running, if you can't do that or you're only doing it every now and then, set yourself a little challenge at home. I know Joe Wicks is doing a fabulous workout every morning at 9 o'clock. There's so many videos on YouTube, yoga videos, football training videos. Just have a search, see what kind of things you'd like to do, and set aside in your routine when you're going to do your daily exercise. It might be you challenge yourself to see how quickly you can run up and down the stairs 50 times every day if you have stairs where you live. Anything to get the endorphins flowing is going to be really, really helpful. Also making sure that you're trying to eat a really balanced, healthy diet. So sometimes when we feel worried or stressed, we kind of just eat. And we might be eating when we're not hungry because we're eating when we're bored or worried. That's something to try to break the habit of, or at least have a piece of fruit instead of going for something that's got more fat and more sugar in it. Making sure that you're keeping your body healthy by the foods that you're putting in it, so that you're strong, your immune system is going to be really healthy and powerful, so that you can feel confident that actually your body's got a really good fighting system in it. And your body is strong and capable. And if you do get coronavirus within the next year, your body's going to fight it, okay? So make sure you're eating healthily. Sleep is a huge, huge one. Check out the sleep video for some more information on that. But do make sure you're going to bed at a decent time to make yourself get at least 10 hours of sleep a night. It's so important. Not only does your sleep help repair your body so that all the cells and the muscles and getting rid of all the waste. Sleep is so important for your mental health. Just if you haven't had enough sleep, everything feels worse. Everything seems bigger and more worrying. So if you're sleeping well and you have a healthy sleep, you're going to automatically feel better as well. Ordinarily, you would be out with your friends and you would be at school and you might be seeing people after school. We need to try and find different ways to connect with people. Now, you might be using some of the apps like Bunch. That's a really safe one, a bit like House Party, but much safer. House Party, WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook videos, to connect with people and to call and have that interaction. And that can keep you going until you'll see everybody back again. Another really helpful thing is doing a gratitude journal. Now, I will do a separate video on that as well. But a gratitude journal is going to help you focus on the positive, help you focus on what's making you happy and all the good things in your life. So if you're doing all of those things, it is going to make lockdown so much easier. As always, just know that all the grown